Hello, everyone. I'm here to talk to you a little bit today about some of the best advice I've ever received. That was just get outside your comfort zone a little bit. I remember hearing it. I was on a church mission trip with my pastor. I was working in a soup kitchen, and I was the first time I had ever worked with that population, and I was horribly overwhelmed. I went up to him, I was like, hey, I have no idea what I'm doing here. And he looked me dead in the eye. He was like, good, figure it out. And I was like, okay. And that had an impact on my life that has really shaped me ever since. Now, moving forward into my freshman year of college, I go to the University of Connecticut. It's a gigantic school, as you probably saw with me walking up. I am slightly disabled, and so getting to class was a challenge for me. Again, outside my comfort zone, it was a challenge. And I was looking for my place where I fit in, and I heard about college a cappella. I've performed in front of large groups of people before. It's a good time, highly recommend it. The part that I didn't take into account was the audition process, which is you sit in a small room with 9 guys all staring at you, judging you silently. It's bad. So that was just horribly uncomfortable. However, I got into the group. It was great, it's a good time. The reason I'm talking today about my a cappella group, with today's theme being synergy, is I've always felt that the core ideal of the a cappella group is synergy. It's a bunch of guys, each with their own individual voice, coming together to sing with one voice as one core fundamental group. It's a beautiful thing. So when I first got into the group, I didn't know anyone, I didn't know how anything worked, I didn't understand a lot of the inside jokes that were being thrown around. However, to contrast that anxiety that I had my first week of college in this gigantic new place, I walked into my first night of rehearsal, and it was great. I was greeted by smiling faces. It was truly where I felt that I belonged. It was musical, which is something that I take a lot of pride in. I love music. The seniors of the group were absolutely incredible. They were inclusive. So naturally, I put them on a really high pedestal because they're awesome, especially our music directors, the guys who taught us all the music. They were beyond words. They were the greatest guys. However, as the year went on, I ran for music director for the next year. Elections happened, and I was elected to be co-music director with a friend of mine. And so I realized in that moment that I couldn't keep those music directors from the past year on that high pedestal because I wanted to be like them. They were not people to keep on that high pedestal, they were people to strive to be similar to eventually. So instead, I put them on a really high set of stairs that I could climb with some amount of effort. And with the co-music director thing, he and I have to be in constant synergy. He and I have to know when to cut each other off, so to speak, when to lend a helping hand to one another. In my position as co-music director, I have acquired traits that I didn't think I could ever acquire. I've learned incredible amounts of patience, I've learned leadership skills, and I've gained incredibly valuable friendships that I hold dear and I'm certain will stick with me for the rest of my life. So what I hope you take away from this is to just explore a little bit, to reach outside your comfort zone, even if it's just a tiny little bit. If you're a college student, maybe this is going a little bit farther, but travel abroad. If you're maybe a little bit past your college years, you could get involved in some volunteer work or some mission work, perhaps. I'm just really, I want you to explore yourself just a little bit. Find valuable insights into yourself. Okay, thank you.